Hey there, authors. Todd from Bard Press, and today I want to talk about what I think is the most important decision that you're going to make when you write and publish your book, and that is determining what the title is going to be. Now, there's that common adage that is never judge a book by its cover, good piece of wisdom, but it's not really what happens when we consider books. We absolutely judge them by the cover and everything that's on the cover. And the biggest, most prominent thing, most often, is the title. And the title has to do a lot of things. It's a difficult decision to come to what are those few words that we can come up with that are going to wholly describe what is inside those 200, 250 pages that reader is going to read. But what I want to do today is just talk about one component which may help you on this journey of figuring out what would be a great title for your book. And I want to talk about this quality that I think exists in almost every great book title. If you think about what a book is simply an argument to make something better. That's what it is. And if you think about all your great books, all the ones that you've enjoyed, they make some argument about how the world isn't working the way as it should. It's something that you identify with, and the book makes a promise in that I could show you a better way. So it's that delta between what is going on right now and how things work for you and where things could be. And I think titles themselves acknowledge that change, that sort of that delta that takes place. Let me give you a couple examples. My first example is from my good friend Charlie Gilkey, and his new book is called Start Finishing. And the book is all about exactly that idea. It's the idea that you've got projects that you've always wanted to do, and there are things that are keeping you from them, whether it's yourself, how you manage your time, how many projects you're taking on at any given moment. And he walks through a whole variety of things that are impediments towards creating the kind of work that we want to. Start finishing is this wonderful change. And if you identify with that you identify with sort of the anxiety and the frustration with that, ends up being a great book. Next book I've got, which I think is a really great example, is this book called Free PR. And this may not seem like a book that is sort of promising something that is sort of a change, but anybody who's familiar with publicity is they think to themselves, I've got to hire a publicist, I've got to spend a lot of money. And again, the argument of the book is I'm going to show you how you can be your own publicist, how you can build the capability, learn how to do pitches, figure out who are the right people to reach out to, even talks about the kinds of people that you should hire to help you build a publicity program and how effective it can be in making your business successful. The third one, and it's probably the best example of this, is the classic book from Jim Collins called Good to Great. Good, great. Now, this book's been around for about 20 years. I think it's sold something like 3 million copies. And I think one of the reasons it does is the promise is so clear right from the title. All of us believe that we're good. All of us believe that we have some level of competency, but who doesn't want to be great? Who doesn't want to be better? And when you then follow them through to the content that's inside the book of all these variety of ways that we can make small changes and sometimes big changes to take us from being an average performer to being an outstanding performer, it's something that Jim Collins, I think, does really well. So the title signals the change you're going to get, and more importantly, the content within the book fully supports the promise that Collins is making. So as you're thinking about the title for your book, think about the change that your book is trying to bring out in the world. And it could be as overt as good to great. It could be just something more subtle, like the book that I think of that has the change sort of built into the title is a book called Never Eat Alone. It's a book about networking. Keith Ferrazzi wrote it, probably 10, 15 years ago now. But Never Eat Alone sort of says what we should be doing And implicit in that title is, right now we're spending a lot of time and not taking advantage of all the time that's available to us. So is there some change we can make to take better advantage of the time that we have and the people that we can connect with? So better titles come from illustrating the change that you're trying to make with the book that you're writing.